Zellers, where the lowest price was the law, until it wasn't. And that's why they're no longer around. Okay, so today's subject matter is Laser Volley, released in 1983 for the Atari 2600 video computer system, courtesy of former Canadian retail chain Zellers. Right, so back when Atari ruled the world, and by world I mean North America for the most part, virtually anyone could make a video game for the Atari system and sell it without going through Atari. You had some folks who developed their own games and sold them, such as Activision or iMagic, while others simply took other people's intellectual property, gave it a new name and spiffy cover, and then sold it on the market. Zellers fell into the latter category as they had a little over a dozen or so games released before Atari put their foot down and told them to stop. Now, we've sampled a couple of these in the past. You've got Busy Police, which is just a repackaged Keystone Capers, Space Adventure, aka Flash Gordon, and today we have Laser Volley, which is a repackage of iMagic's Laser Gates, which seems a more apt title than Laser Volley, which you assume would feature more lasers being volleyed. Instead, the game has you controlling a little ship and you must make your way past the eponymous laser gates, clear a hole in non-laser walls, and occasionally knock off incoming bogies. You have 3 meters on the bottom. Aside from your score, you have your energy meter, which doubles as a fuel meter, which can be recharged by collecting power crates. Your shield meter, which drains as you take damage until it expires, at which point the game ends, you have only 1 life. And the last meter, D-time, refers to the amount of time you have to reach the detonator at the end of each segment that you have to destroy with your lasers. But you have to hit the right bit, because if you hit the wrong bit, you'll trigger a booby trap that will damage your shields. But the game will continue on from there so long as you have enough shields to withstand the blow. Yeah, the booby trap thing feels a bit needless and perhaps a bit cruel, but other than that, Laser Volley / Gates is fairly straightforward fare. Controls are relatively simple. You move your ship around with the joystick and you fire your lasers with the button. If you move forwards, you'll shoot forwards. If you're backing off, you'll shoot backwards. Fly your ship towards the right side of the screen to speed up a bit, but you'll run the risk of colliding with a wall or a gate or whatever else that will cause massive damage. Oh, and levels are largely randomized. No two games play the same way, more or less, which keeps things somewhat interesting, but not by much. Laser Volley / Gates only has 1 mode of play, no variations built in, nor do the difficulty switches affect anything. The game has an interesting premise going for it, but not enough meat to sustain extended play. After a couple minutes, you've already seen all that this game has to offer, and subsequent stages only make these things move in or close in faster than before. That, and the fact that you're only dealing with 1 threat at a time. It's closing gates, then it's missiles, then a wall you have to chip away. It's never a combination of the two, and that makes it less exciting as well. Don't get me wrong, it's a functional game, everything works the way it's supposed to, but it does eventually get a bit boring. Graphically, Laser Volley / Laser Gates looks pretty good. The scrolling terrain is fairly smooth, the sprites are somewhat smallish, but you can make out the little radar towers, the missiles, and little dart ship thing, even with all the flickering. Layout is fairly clean with the action on top and your displays on the bottoms. Visually, it's fine. Audio-wise, it's your stock Atari sound effects being deployed here, some of which have been featured in other games, nothing special or noteworthy, though some gates produce awful noise, but that's par for the course with some Atari games. It's just part of the territory. Overall, Laser Volley / Laser Gates is a fairly functional scrolling shooter thing that can feel a bit tiresome after a while, either due to the somewhat uneven difficulty brought about by the random nature of the game or just the overall limited scope once you start playing for more than a couple levels. There's a tease for a potentially fun game to be found here, but that's about as far as it goes. iMagic typically did some good stuff, and this is probably one of their lesser efforts. Certainly not the worst thing I've played on Atari 2600, but let's be honest, you could do far better than this.